The Ibishu Pigeon, BeamNG's most questionable creation. Today I'm not just messing around with it, I'm properly testing it. Acceleration, braking, crash performance, everything. And at the end I'll answer one simple question. Is the Ibishu Pigeon a meme or an actual car? Let's find out. First we got the speed test and it was horrible. It had a time of 24 seconds for 0 to 60, which as I said is horrible. So yeah, it's supposed to be a little faster, I think, for a car. So yeah, and also its top speed was 72 miles per hour. I don't know what that is in the good units, but yeah, I even had to speed up the video because this thing was just so slow. So yeah, 4 out of 10 for the speed. Okay, we got a 4 out of 10 for the speed test. Let's go on with the next test, which is the brake test. And it actually wasn't that bad for a pigeon. I mean, the brakes were okay. So yeah, I'm giving this a 5 out of 10. We now have a total score of 9 points. Let's go on. Next up, we got the high-speed corner test, and it barely even turned to the right. It was horrible. 2 out of 10. Total of 11 points. Let's continue. Now we got the crash test, and it wasn't that bad because the pigeon doesn't have enough power to do a lot of damage to itself. So yeah, the driver is pretty safe. I mean, not really, but compared to the tuned car, pretty safe. 6 out of 10. We now have 17 points. We are now doing the off-road test, and it actually wasn't that bad for a gas-powered tricycle. No, but really, it actually wasn't that bad for a pigeon, of course. But it did handle pretty well the dirt roads, but it did flip over a couple of times too. So I wouldn't say that it was the best experience ever off-roading. So yeah, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. So now we got 22 points for the normal stock pigeon, and now is the perfect time to say that the question at the end is only for the stock pigeon, not the tuned one. Now honestly, I have no idea what I was doing. I was just like moving different things and setting everything to the max. I have no idea what I was doing. So yeah, I was just changing parts with other random ones. So yeah, but at the end we got a interesting looking pigeon. Now the tuned pigeon will have the same tests, and first we got the speed test, and it has a total of 5:52 seconds for the 0 to 60 test, and also its top speed is 106 miles per hour. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. Eight out of 10 for the speed test. Not bad. Let's go on with the brake test, and it didn't have much of a difference compared to the other pigeon. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Now have a total of 14 points. Let's keep going. We now have the high-speed corner test, and I actually had to do this like 5 times because the car kept spinning out, but it also barely turned. 4 out of 10. 18 points now, not bad. Now the crash test. It was worse than the other pigeon, but as I said, the other pigeon didn't have a lot of power to do damage to itself. So yeah, 2 out of 10 on this one. 20 points. Let's go on with the off-road test. Now, the off-road test, you would think that it went really well, but it didn't. The car kept spinning out because it was literally too fast. I never thought I would say this for a pigeon, but it was way too fast. Way too fast for a track. And I also tried on a normal track, not an off-road track. That was also horrible. I could barely turn, so yeah, I really do not recommend this. 1 out of 10. I'm giving it the lowest score possible because it was so bad you couldn't even drive. Now it's time for the important question. Is the Ibishu Pigeon a meme or an actual car? Well, after proper testing and pushing it to the limit, I think the Ibishu Pigeon is fun, but it's definitely more of a meme than a serious vehicle. But would I want this in real life? Well, yeah, because it's a pigeon. Who wouldn't want a pigeon in real life? But if we ignore the fact that it's a pigeon, then honestly, no, I wouldn't want this in real life. It's not that good, not even the tuned one. It's just a pretty bad 3-wheel car that is really slow. I mean, yeah, it's funny, but again, if we ignore the fact that it's a pigeon, it's a really slow and bad car that no one would want. Now, this is the end of the Ibishu Pigeon chaos, but if you have other ideas and tests you would like me to try, you can let them down in the comments, and maybe if we have enough more ideas, just maybe I'll make a part 2 and we'll see if the pigeon is actually just a meme. Thanks for watching.